Okay, well, first off, congratulations, Co-Defensive Player of the Year, first team All-Conference, nice honor, congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Well, you guys have MIAA tournament coming up. This is the part of the year where you guys have worked for since before school started. What, as far as going into this MIAA tournament, do you feel like you guys are starting to peak?
I don't know if we're necessarily like at our peak, but yeah, I would agree we're starting to peak, and especially with the outcome and the beginning of our season, it wasn't the best and what we wanted it to be at. So to be at this point and having things start to click is really great and exciting for the team.
You guys have, the success you had last year, does that give you guys some confidence, or just knowing what it takes to win at this level, does that give you guys maybe an advantage?
I feel like it definitely does give us confidence because we're at a point where we want to prove everyone that last year wasn't necessarily a fluke or a mistake, like we earned it, and we're here right now to make another name for ourselves, and I think it gives us an advantage as well because we know what it feels like to win the tournament. It's fresh in the back of our minds, so we're excited.
So what do you feel like it's going to take for you guys to make it through the MIAA tournament with wins?
Just keep up the chemistry that we've been having in the games and having everyone come out and play their game the way that we all know that they can play it, and we should be looking pretty good.
Do you feel like, going on the road early in the season, do you feel like, having those road trips, kind of getting that team bonding together helps you come this time of the season when you're home a lot and going into the postseason?
For sure, because we got, I think, 10 new players, so that's a half of a new team, and to have those away trips so early was very nice because we didn't really know everyone and where they were coming from, and to have that time to like joke around and have team dinners and everything was really nice.
And then I guess, for yourself, the defensive player of the year, that's nice, but do you kind of view it as more of a team award, just kind of showing this doesn't happen without everybody else type of?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely wouldn't be where I was without our teammates, and to have two freshmen coming in and playing the outside, it's been a big year, and they really have stepped up to the plate. We've all learned together, and I think that's what we just all built the chemistry together, and having a good goalkeeper behind us too as well has helped.
And one more from me, I guess, you have that expectation to be here this time of the year. How do you kind of go about at this time, just taking one game at a time, not looking too far ahead?
Yeah, I feel like we've always been a team that really has looked at it one game at a time. We have the talent, but if we overlook ourselves and the other teams, then that's when some trouble starts to go. So every weekend is game by game and not a weekend looking further on.
Thank you.
Wayne?
Hey Joanie, congrats on
Thank
your
you.
honors, first of all. I'm so happy for you. So just how does getting an honor like the Co-Defensive Player of the Year really help with, like you say, your confidence and the team's confidence going into the postseason?
It definitely helps a lot, and it's nice to know that like Emporia State is getting a little bit of limelight and shine throughout the conference, and I feel like we all have been working this hard, and especially from like freshman year to now, it's a huge jump and very nice, and I feel like the confidence going into the tournament from everyone will be great.
In preseason, you said you guys had big goals, win the MIAA, make a deeper NCAA tournament run. Just where do you guys feel like you're at on your path to achieving those goals?
Well, at first we didn't think that we were going to achieve those goals, honestly, with how we started the season, and the adversity that we all faced and overcame was actually insane. And to say that we are finishing up in the same spot that we did last year is, honestly, I didn't think we were going to be there, but it's great to know that we did get there, and it's all because of everyone put in the hard work, and every week we're just getting better.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Katie?
Hey Joanie, congrats, first of all.
Thank you.
First question, so obviously as you were just talking about, you guys had a little bit of a rough start to the season, but you were able to bounce back in such a huge way throughout the rest of the regular season. How does that kind of propel your confidence going forward into the postseason?
It propels my confidence just to know that even when we are down, our team has what it takes to get on the come up and do what we can to win and come together as a team. And it's basically a whole team effort, and the energy comes from all over the field, on the bench and on the field. So to have amazing girls to come and face like that adversity is insane.
Yeah, and obviously you guys have a home field advantage for definitely the first round, most likely the second two if you advance. How huge is that, having that home field advantage?
It's amazing. I can't explain. Like, we love the support that we get from other athletes and even just community members that aren't just our family. It's so nice to know that everyone in our community is kind of coming together to just, like, support us and really just give us like the recognition that we have been earning for ourselves.
Thanks, that's it for me.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, ma'am.
Thanks. Congratulations, first team all conference.
Thank
Unanimous selection. First off, being the number 2 seed after what you guys been through, does it kind of amaze you that you are where you guys are?
Honestly, yeah. If you look at the start of the season and then you watch our games now, we don't even look like the same team. Our chemistry has just jumped so high, and it shows on the field.
What do you feel like's been the difference from maybe the first half of the season to the second half of the season?
Definitely losing key components that we had last year and having to not necessarily make up for those spots, but build new chemistry and especially on the field, just so everyone knows how each other plays. And I think that's what we lacked in the first part of the season, is we were still trying to all figure out how each other played. And now that we're towards the end, we're starting to understand that. We're still continuing to build off of it, but it just shows.
What's got to be the mentality you guys take into the MIAA tournament?
That anything can happen, that we need to play our best. We need to come out like we did against UCM, and we just have to play our game. We can't let other teams get in our heads.
Okay, just kind of, kind of like you said, a tale of two seasons, kind of, but how important is it today you're playing your best soccer during MIAA play and to get that high seed going into the postseason?
It's definitely a huge advantage. Some teams, towards the end, they're getting hurt and they're dying down and getting burnt out, but we're on the rise, and it'll show on the field against other teams, and teams are going to lack that, and we'll shine it over them.
Obviously, yourself, one of the top goal scorers on this team, just kind of talk about the offense, just kind of, how have you kind of about this season, how that helps as a team?
Not being only like the top goal scorer, like having other people that are able to score on the team is huge. Not many teams have that, and we're having girls get tons of assists and getting other opportunities. So it just shows that our offense is strong everywhere, including subs that come in and can continue to make a difference.
Thank you.
Lady.
Hey, Mackenzie, congrats, first of all.
Thank you.
So just, 3 years in a row being on the all MIAA first team, do you continue to surprise yourself at all when you're named to this team for 3 years in a row now?
I always find it as a surprise because there's good players on every team, so it's an honor to get it, and everyone that is on that team deserves to be on it.
And how is it having the co-defensive player of the year on your team as well to really balance things out?
Pretty solid. I like having her back there. Makes me feel safe in our defense, knowing that it's locked up.
All right, perfect, thanks.
Katie.
Hey, Mackenzie, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. So, obviously, talking about your conference honors, how does that feel knowing that you're able to contribute to this team in such a big way?
It's a huge honor, but like I've said before, I couldn't have done any of it without the team behind my back.
Yeah, and when you guys got off to the start that you did this season, you were able to bounce back and finish so strongly. How does that kind of set up your confidence heading into the postseason?
It makes me just think that we have so much more potential to continue to add on and, create bigger wins for us.
Yeah, and going into Sunday, you guys have a home field advantage, could potentially for more future games. How does that feel, having your home crowd behind you?
Feels nice because other athletes come and support us, and community comes and supports us, and you can just feel that they want us to win, and it honestly just takes us to another level.
Cool. That's it for me. Thanks.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thanks, ma'am.
Thanks. All right. Well, this is the postseason. This is the time of the year where all the hard work starts to pay off. For this team, how confident are you taking these girls into this MIAA tournament?
I mean, very confident. We did well against the best teams in the league, you know, and we tend to raise our game when we need to. You know, I'm not saying we've been perfect all year long by any stretch, but here in this last 12 games anyway, we've really stepped up, and you know, it's do or die, you know, now, and you got to win to keep advancing. And when we play to that level where there is no tomorrow, you know, it could be could put a lot of pressure on teams. So we're excited about that.
What do you feel like it's going to take from this team to keep it winning and advancing?
I mean, we gotta obviously we gotta score well. You know, we've dominated games a lot of times, and sometimes when you lose in the playoffs, you can control the game, and they're just not going in on that day. And you know, so we gotta take advantage of our opportunities, Greg, and be really good on set pieces and things like that. And, you know, we can't put on all the pressure on one person to score. You know, we got to be more dynamic than that, and you know, we got to defend well, and we have. That's the biggest change in our team from first half to second half has been defensively. I mean, we weren't having shutouts in the first half, and you know, in the second half of the year, we've had a bunch of shutouts, and our defense is playing well. So we just got to score when given opportunities, and good things will happen.
I guess, so you kind of talk about the beginning of the season, you kind of, you schedule purposely all those away games early on to kind of get the girls, you know, adapted to playing with each other.
Yeah.
Do you think that helped, you know, in a season like this where you have a bunch of newcomers coming
It
in?
wasn't just traveling, it was the quality of opponents that we played too. These are some of the best teams in the nation we're playing, and a lot of the best teams in our conference. So yeah, part of it is definitely bonding and getting away and getting to know each other. And next year we're doing the same thing. We're going to Tampa Bay, you know, and playing down there, and that'll be fun. But you know, it's more. It was the competition was intense, man. And we took some lumps, but sometimes taking early season lumps for a new team is good, and it gets you stronger for the conference play. And that's what happened this year. We finally flipped the switch, and you know, it all worked out.
And as you go down the stretch in the conference play, you said a lot of shutouts down the stretch. Do you feel like this team is maybe peaking at the right time at the season?
I think we're definitely getting there, even against the UC. I mean, we lost one game in the last 12, I think, and so that's pretty good in this league. UCO game, you know, yes, we lost 3-1, but it wasn't like a 3-1 game, if you know what I'm saying. We were right there, we outshot them, we had our chances, and it just didn't go our way. So, you know, we can't have moments like that, you know, otherwise we can be beat, and we know that. So, yeah, we can. I think Joe and Mackenzie are right. There's still more in us that we haven't seen yet, and we're going to need it to get through this MIAA tournament. If we have any chance of moving on in regionals, we're going to need to see something we haven't even seen yet at that level. If not, we can do well, but we're not going to go, you know, quite as far.
Mm-hmm. And one more from me, you play well at home. So how important is it to kind of get that home field advantage, get the number 2 seed, and kind of have that for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we've only lost one game in the past few years, so obviously it's important, you know, and it is nice not having the tiresome of traveling and being able to sleep in our own beds and all that stuff is big, but getting families out there, they're doing a tailgate on Sunday, so it'll be a big game, and I'm hoping, you know, it's a lot different playing here when they're tailgating in front of our fans than going all the way up to Tahlequah or something like that. So we're excited to be here, and I think we'll give an amazing effort on Sunday.
Laney.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. So really quick, you mentioned that there are parts of this team that you guys haven't seen yet. Do you have an idea of what it'll take to really bring out those aspects that we haven't seen yet?
I mean, I think hopefully it's just a moment, you know, and you know, there's no better moment than postseason, you know, where we're laying it on the line, not just for yourselves, but for the seniors who won't be here next year or anything else, you know, like that. But, you know, I just think we've had a lot of games where certain players are playing really well, and maybe it's not us as a collective unit, or we're not scoring, we're getting some chances, but we're not finishing. Well, when those things happen, where we're all clicking and multiple people are playing well and we're finishing on top of that, then we could be at just a whole nother level that we probably saw in the UCM game and, spots here and there, but we're going to need that going forward.
And you have 3 players on the All-MIAA first team. You have the co-defensive player of the year. Do you expect this out of your team every year?
I mean, it's a great honor for sure. We've gotten, we've gotten more recognition in the past few years with all conference, and a lot of that is because of our team success. If we finished 7th in the conference, we wouldn't have 3 players on the first team, but we finished 2nd, and so it kind of goes with the territory. But these individually, they're very good, and we're lucky to have them in different parts of the field. We have one in the midfield, one at forward, one in the back, and another midfielder who's really a first teamer that just didn't get it. So we're kind of scattered throughout in very important positions on the field. That's what makes our team, well balanced, I guess. But they got to play at a high level, of course, but everybody around them has to help them out as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned how much the defense just improved over the second half of the season. How much has Joanie really improved through the second half of the season as well?
She's been great. It's like when we had our turnaround, honestly, Joanie started playing really good, and Mackenzie started scoring a little bit more too. But our struggles were more defensively, and Joe will tell you that early in the year than they are now. We actually switched from a 4-back to a 3-back, and it's hard to be a center back and a 3-back because you're used to playing with somebody else there to help you out. But she's adapted unbelievably well and been a great leader for us back there. But she's been, the past few weeks, she's got Athlete of the Week, Defensive Athlete of the Week in the conference. She's probably deserved it a couple times, but she's really stepped it up in the second half of the year.
Perfect. Thank you.
Arcade.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Good, and you?
Pretty good. So, talking a little bit more about Joanie and Mackenzie, how proud are you from a coach's perspective to have players like that on your team that get honored like that?
I mean, very proud. We have 3 in the same class. Joe and Mackenzie and Hannah all came in together, and they're all first team conference now as seniors. So it's it's great. That doesn't happen very often, to get 3 of them, and they've adapted so well, not just with our program and with me, but with their teammates and each other on the field. And I'm super proud of them, and they're definitely going to be 3. Luckily, we have COVID year and we get 1 more, but there definitely be 3 players that'd be hard to replace in our future. But they've just left a great legacy here so far, and I don't think they're done writing their story yet. So I'm just proud of them.
Yeah, and talking about that mid-season shift a little more, what do you think really powered that really turned things around for you guys?
Part of it was, like I said, we changed our formation, and that I believe that really truly did help us in that moment, because we just weren't covering well, and we weren't playing good team defense, and now we are doing so much better in the system we tried to play. And at first we were just experimenting, just thinking, but then it worked so good, we just kind of stuck with it, and we've been pretty good at it. So that was part of it, and our players just started playing better and believing. The start, they weren't believing. We were in games. A lot of those losses early in the year were close losses too, or we would get tied in the last seconds, or last minutes. There's about 4 of those games that came down to the last 10 minutes, and they didn't go our way. So we just had to figure out how to win and how to hold on, and it just took a greater effort from our girls at that point, and they just it just clicked. It just it's like the light switch went on, and we just started believing. So belief is a big thing, and when you're struggling, it tends to go that way, and then when you're doing well, it tends to go that way as well. So we've seen both of those ends of the spectrum this year alone. So.
Yeah, and when you're going into the postseason as the 2 seed, what's kind of the message you're sending to your team before a game like this?
I mean, Mackenzie's right. Anything can happen. I mean, we have to be locked in because we tied them the first game, and it's soccer. We know that we can outshoot a team 10-5 or 10-2 and lose 1-0. So we got to be locked in for 90 minutes. we can't take halves off, we can't take big moments off, you know, so I think just maintain their focus, enjoy the moment, but maintain their focus, and we got to capitalize on opportunities that we're going to have. You know, I believe that the toughest team to knock out is the ones who won it from the year before, you know, and whether they're the same team or a different team, and we're a much different team. We have 6 new starters, you know, so, but the ones that are there and that were there, I think that experience is invaluable. And, you know, the new girls, they know where we were, and they know where we want to get back to. So I think everyone's going to step it up.
Cool. Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Coach.